I'm still rising, part two. This is Queen, dealing with maturity and dealing with people, places, and things being can become an addiction as well. And we're not necessarily addicted to the same substance, but we can be addicted to the addiction of addiction and dependency, basically. So I rose today. This is my second rise, by the way. And I am Queen. I'm still Queen. And when I rose today, is how I rise most days. Stormy, uneasy, uncertain, fearful. But what's different is my inventories and what I do with my rises. And I don't accept those because my nervous system wakes up before my mind wakes up. My mind begins to cycle and start to spin out of control sometimes. And if I don't get a hold of that, it will spill over into my relationships, into my day, and into my life for the next day. So what do? We reflect. And what I came up with today is maturity, the quiet face of maturity. Because sometimes I wake up and fear has taken the face of somebody I love or I care for. And I don't want to face that, and I don't want to deal with that. So when a realization hits you so deeply that you can no longer ignore it or explain it away or deny it, you are standing face to face with yourself. That is what shadow work looks like. This is why so many of us never ascend to the next level. This is why the same lessons keep returning in different disguises. The faces change, the names change, but the circumstances, they change. But the lessons remain because we didn't learn it the first time. I'm trying to learn it this time. If I have to step away from the very thing I've been using for relief today, even if that relief isn't a drug, but a person or a habit or a distraction, that isn't punishment. That's maturity. To step away from that, that's maturity. Growth isn't always adding something to your life. Sometimes growth is having the courage to remove what has become your emotional crutch. Maturity doesn't arrive in a parade, people. It doesn't come with balloons, applause, trophies, or even a congratulations. Maturity happens in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It happens in the late hours of the night when you're suffering, when every part of you wants relief, but you choose healing instead. Then you rise in the AM anyway. You keep your head, you keep your word, you keep your head up, you keep your word anyhow, and you rise. You go forward anyway. You make it through your day anyway. That is where the responsibility becomes personal. That is where character begins to get forged. There's no audience, there's no performances. Just one private decision after another, repeated until your life begins to change. Maybe that's what real transformation has always been, and not the dramatic moments, but quieter choices. And those are the things that nobody sees until one day they become the person that everyone notices. Maturity doesn't arrive in a parade. It arrives in a quiet choice that no one applauds. If you don't step back and get a handle or get a hold of yourself, something else will get a hold to you. And when my nervous system is affected by something that I don't have access to, and it's outside of me, we got a problem. And it will become a problem with me. And it will become your problem too. So I ain't going to do that today. Today, we're going to reflect. We're going to finish the rest of our workout. We're going to just be today. I'm detaching. I'm doing me today. Not that I don't do me every day, but I'm really going to do me today. Because I want to get outside of this. I want to get away from this. I don't want to get away from the love, but I want to get away from the monitoring. I want to get away from the the emotional roller coasters. Because when I have highs, dealing with my mental health, when I have been on a substantial high for a period of time, you know you've got to come down. When you begin to spiral, see, my highs are not as high as they used to be. They're still high. But see, my baseline is here, and if I'm spiking, then my lows are going to reflect that same flux, only in the opposite direction. So if I can try to maintain and maintain my spikes closer instead of out of the picture, but kind of make my spikes like this, then it's better. It's more easier for me to get back to my level. You know what I mean? So whatever causes Queen to get outside of her space, outside of her levels, I've got to step back from. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the situation is. I'm going to step back until I can regulate my emotions and my maturity can kick in a little bit better. I'm Queen. I'm not going to keep you very long today because I'm done. Y'all have a good day. Pure Vida. Keep rising.